An equation is solved for a variable when that variable is alone on one side of the equation. Here we have an example, 3x plus 4y equals 12. And we can solve this equation for either variable in this equation. Here's an example of solving for x, and over here is the example when solving for y. In either case, we know that we can solve for a variable when we get that specific variable alone on one side. To solve for x means that we want to end up with x alone on one side. To solve for y means we want to have y alone on one side. And depending on which variable we're solving for, we're going to take slightly different steps. For example, when solving for x, the goal is to get the term with the x variable alone first, but when solving for y, we wanted to get the term with the variable y alone on one side first, and so our first step would be different on either side. So we will take a different set of steps depending on which variable we want to solve for. And we will know that we have completely solved for that variable when that variable is alone on one side of the equation. Let's check for understanding. Which equation has been solved for the variable n? How do you know? A. 10m plus 2n equals negative 22. B. 2n equals negative 10m minus 22. C. n equals negative 5m minus 11. Equation blank is solved for the variable n because C. Equation C is solved for the variable n because the variable n is alone on one side of the equation. These equations all had two variables, m and n, but the equation is solved for the variable when that variable is all alone on one side of the equation.